Mikey has had his share of victory and his share of, his much smaller share of defeat, sometimes in similar circumstances.
Yeah.
For many years, Mike was somebody who we were a little bit concerned about when he'd get to that last arrow. And sometimes it was because of conditions just like this. So we're about to see, I think, what's going to be an epic match.
Absolutely. I'm super excited.
Okay, we're about to get started. Here's the men's compound gold medal final.
We are now going to move into our second match of the afternoon. This is the compound men. I'd like to ask the coaches to come on stage. And now we have our judge, Jim Flores, who's leading in our competitors. On target number 1, ranked 5th, Mike Schloesser.
Ranked 5th at the Arizona Cup, but ranked number 1 in the world.
Ranked 3rd, Matthias Fullerton.
Matias Fullerton, of course, the Vegas champion of 2024.
Matthias has chosen
Matias is someone that I've been watching, closely excel through the ranks over the last year or so, but I haven't actually met him in person.
Oh, so he's actually a really nice kid.
Fun
he's
to watch
really
him
great
in
guy.
person. And,
actually, that's the thing. Both of these are really great guys.
Yeah.
You can root for each of them, and it's hard to pick a favorite.
I'm excited for this match.
Absolutely. Okay, looks like Matias is going to be shooting first. Let's see how these gentlemen handle these conditions, shooting this venue for the first time in this particular layout for the finals. And there's a 10. It's on the line.
10.
It's on the downwind side.
Downwind side for sure, yep.
And a quick shot from Mike. It is on the upwind side, 9 at about 11 o'clock. And that's just out.
That is a 10-9 liner.
I'm calling it a 9 from here. We'll see what the judges have to say. Mike can tie things up with a 10.
10.
And there it is. Matias. And there's another liner. That one looks like it might be in.
10-9 liner.
Had a funny kick as it hit. The wind has calmed down, I think. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, for sure. Didn't see either one of them make any adjustments to their sights, but they figured out what the wind was going to look like. Matias, unfortunately, still got those two kind of funny kicked ones out to the side there.
Unofficially a pair of 29s at the moment. We'll see what the judges have to say. It's really Matias's second shot that might be questionable. We'll see what happens with that call. A lot going on in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend. As a local resident, what's the impact of the Final Four that's going on right now?
So funny that you should mention that. I mean, it is a big event. I think most of the hotels downtown are pretty full, and then all of the hotels out in Glendale, where the venue is, are full. So we're happy to have the Final Four here, and I was downtown last week and saw all the signage and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Well, the Arizona Cup's a pretty big deal too.
It is. Absolutely. Absolutely
not
big
quite
deal.
Not quite the Final Four, but it's up there. As we were talking about earlier, though, this is really the unofficial start of the outdoor season for so many people from around the world. And next from here, besides the event in Colombia that a lot of the USA archers are going to, I think a lot of folks' minds are turning toward World Cup and the inaugural World Cup that will take place in Shanghai for this year. That's coming up soon. And also the World Cup that will be taking place in Korea in the month of May. And those two are going to be pivotal. They're very important from the standpoint of certain teams developing some momentum for the Paris Games.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, the scores are official and on the board, and they stand as we call them at 29 points each. As we go back to the original shooting order, it's Matthias Fullerton of Denmark shooting first on target number 2.
winds calmed down quite
Yes,
a bit.
they have. Gentlemen are getting a bit of a break here. I'm not going to tell you that it's perfect, but it's pretty good. We are looking at a 9 or 10 rather on that shot. It's just on the top of the X ring. Just out of the X, I think. And Mikey with an X for sure. Both of those guys have their arrows within about 2 millimeters if you'd superpose those targets on top of each other.
Great place to be, right at the top of the X. Like
Absolutely. And there's a dead center X.
X.
All right, now they're bringing it. This is what we've come to expect from these two. And they've duplicated each other so far.
Arrow for arrow.
Oh, this is awesome.
Little wind pickup.
Yes, it just picked up quite a bit. About a 10-mile-an-hour increase. Didn't affect Matias very much at all.
Nope.
Bottom of the 10 ring. Well inside. Can Mike match it? Yes, he can.
Absolutely.
Also a 10
Yep.
out of the X ring. But you know what?
Yeah. Two
We are
pair of
seeing-
30s like
Much
that.
closer than that.
After a
Looks
pair
like
of
we still have tie
29s.
game.
We are seeing
What a
these guys
match.
go hammer and tong. They are each 1 point down from
If
perfect
that is
score
the
so
case,
far. We're looking at a 59 each.
Then Matthias will
Wonder how many times,
continue to be
and
first
maybe
on
you would
this
know,
next
George,
round.
how many times have they met and faced each other?
I've lost count. It's been, if you count European events, it's got to be on the order of 6 times, I believe.
Okay. And I would imagine there's many more in the future.
Oh, yeah,
So-
no doubt about it. And, you know, both of these gentlemen, I mean, Mike is sort of a force of nature himself, right? Who is going to be the next Mike Schloesser is something that, you know, we need to consider. Because right now, nobody has done what he's been able to do. First man to shoot a perfect score in world archery competition.
Yep.
Longest ever world #1 ranked man. But
Incredible.
But if I had a short list
Has indeed
of who could succeed him in the future,
therefore
Yeah.
Matthias
it's
will
the guy
start
standing
off
next to him.
Matias.
third end.
It's Matias.
He sure looks good today.
Yeah. And Matias, of course, is I mean, he does 2 things. He does archery and video games. That's his thing. He's very much a modern guy.
My son does one of those things.
Back in action with a tied score, and we go back to the original shooting order. Matias, 20 seconds on the clock, 59 points each. And that is just out. There's an opportunity for Mike.
9.
Mike, shooting a 10, would apply some pressure now. There it is. In fact, it's in the same hole as his previous 10 that he shot, the last arrow that he shot on the previous end.
Previous end.
So he's clearly dialed in. You notice the wind just died. And there's a 10.
X.
Matias's 9 is just out on the windward side, but
on the downwind side, yeah.
yeah.
But the wind really just dropped out. It really dropped out. And there's a 9. We're back to
Back
a
to
tie.
tied.
Back to a tie. And there's a 10.
10.
So Mike, a 10 is what he's going to want to keep the tie going. Oh, that is not what he wanted.
9.
That is a 9 at 4 o'clock, and it gives Matias the advantage. A 1-point advantage at the moment. As we score this, it's going to be Mike shooting first on the next end.
So Matias takes a 1-point lead with 6 to go.
6 arrows to go. We have shot a total of 6 arrows. And, sorry, we've shot a total of 9 arrows.
We've scored 6.
We've scored 6.
Yeah. But the wind's down right now, but it has been cycling all day. So what's it going to look like on those last 3
If
arrows?
it follows the cycle we've seen today, I think you're implying it's going to come roaring through pretty soon. And I
Yeah.
believe you're right, knowing what I know about this field.
Looks like Matthias has
Cloud
picked
cover's
up
gotten
1
thicker.
point.
The light has become flatter.
And that means Mike will be starting this end.
All right, score is confirmed and on the board. It's 88 points for Matthias Fullerton, 87 points for Mike Schloesser. Mike will be shooting first on target number 1, finding himself in the unaccustomed position of being behind by a point. Matthias Fullerton, of course, the champion of the Outdoor World Cup season last year with a tremendous victory in Mexico. Mike Schloesser, their master class on how to shoot in the wind. "10-9 liner.
9.
On the downwind side.
Yep. And a interesting tear in the paper indicating the arrow was being pushed as it was. And a 9 on the upwind
9.
side.
Too much for Matias.
Yep, he gave it just a little too much bubble.
I even felt a couple sprinkles just now.
Yeah.
We might be in for a little treat here.
Well, there's some Virga off in the horizon there. Oh, that is not what I expected to see.
How often do you see that?
Almost never.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I saw Mike Schloesser shoot an 8 in any circumstances. But these circumstances are the kind that will lend themselves to it. We have a gusty draft of wind. There's another 9. Both of these guys. Now, look, it wouldn't be fair to say the wheels are coming off. But,
No, for sure.
But these conditions are not doing them any favors right now. And there's a 10.
He definitely needed that.
Yeah, for sure. 3 arrows to go to complete this match for Mike, and 4 arrows to go, including this one right here. And there's a 9. And guess what?
Yeah.
We have a tie with 3 arrows to go. All right, what do you think? Shoot off?
Of course, well, that's what we want, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I want to see it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The wind did cycle back up a little sooner than I expected.
All right,
It did,
But I don't think it's any worse right now than it was for the girls.
It did it as you predicted, though.
Yeah.
It just came in maybe just a bit sooner than we expected, to your point, but you'll notice that temperature has dropped a bit as well. I think we probably lost about a degree Fahrenheit or 2 in the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
And I would say that the combination of those things, combined with the terrain around us, we have a very flat plain off to our east. We have a mountain to our west.
Yep.
It creates local environmental conditions that are unique to this particular spot that we're shooting at. If you were to go 2 kilometers to the east, it would be different, wouldn't it?
100%. In fact, I've shot 2 kilometers to the east from here, and the wind is almost non-existent. The little mountain behind us definitely plays a big part in that. Creates this little local weather anomaly.
I shot the U.S. Field Nationals here, finished 2nd place to J Bars, as most people end up doing. and I can say that the weather, even up on that mountain, has its own unique characteristics, including dust devils.
Absolutely. That's one of our favorite things here.
Yeah, well, you get plenty of them. And it's remarkable. They're like mini tornadoes. They're quite powerful. Okay,
Good opening
Mike
shot from
with
Mike.
a 10, and that was an important shot. Mike is setting the tone. And Matias picked it up. He put his arrow right. Again, if you took those 2 papers and put them on top of each other, those arrows would be right on top of each other. Interesting, the official score is showing a 1-point lead for Matias. We missed that. Sorry about that.
Looked like another 10.
That is a 10.
9-10 liner.
I think that's it. Matias could close the door with the next 2 arrows, of course. And that's a 9.
9.
All tied up with 2 to go, based on depending on an arrow call.
Yes.
Or with 1 to go.
X.
Okay, we're looking at, actually that looks like a 10.
Matias needs this.
Yes, he does. Let's see what happens.
Got
Okay,
it.
what did we say about a shoot-off
I
earlier?
think it's coming. I think it's coming. We're going to see it.
I think we'll see a shoot-off.
Yep.
Let's wait for the judges to make their call. I'm reasonably confident that Mike caught that 10 ring with that arrow that I called, but we'll see in just a moment. But chance of a shoot-off is
We may not.
certainly there.
This may
Yeah.
go to a 1-arrow shoot-off.
I bet you that if I'm Diane Tone, the DOS, I'm setting my clock for a 20-second shoot-off. We'll find out in a moment here.
Yeah.
Lots more action still ahead, Eric. We've got, I'm just gonna say it. We've got perhaps the most interesting category, especially in weather like this, coming up in just a few minutes. And
Yes.
that's the most unique group in our sport today.
All right.
I got to participate with that
We are
group
going
last
to
year
a
indoors, and it was a
one-arrow
blast.
shoot-off.
What
So
we're talking about here is
This
bare
will
bow.
be-
I may get to do it again. We'll see.
We'll have a few things to say. Oh, well, I'll put it this way. Eric will have a few things to say about that. I am relatively
Target
ignorant
2 will be
when it comes to
shooting
bare bow.
first.
So this is an awesome treat here. I don't get to commentate very often, but I definitely don't get to see one-arrow shoot-offs between archery titans very often either. So
You don't get to see that, and you don't get to see it in these really interesting conditions.
Yep, I got a front row seat here.
Okay, well, with the shoot-off, we'll go back to the original shooting order. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Matthias shooting first on target 2, and then Mike will get his shot.
When you were competing, George, what did you, in a situation like this, would you prefer to shoot first or second?
I like to shoot first and let them see it.
Same.
You know, in those situations where I've had simultaneous, timing, I always try to get that arrow off first.
Yeah.
I don't want to, because you're going to hear the announcement, or you're going to know
Yep.
from the crowd. I don't want to have to deal with that extra pressure.
Yep.
I already got enough. So my personal preference is strike first
Yep.
and strike hard.
So let's see if Matias can do it.
Yeah, well, I guarantee you he can.
Yeah, for sure.
But there is the environmental factor here, and that's certainly going to be, as much as anything else, the deciding factor. And just as the whistle blew, guess what started? The wind started coming up, and it's becoming a tailwind. And he doesn't have much time to mess around with this. He's got down to 15, 14, 13 seconds. 10 seconds. Oh, it's a 9. This is the door open
9.
for Mike.
Overcompensation for the wind on that.
Yeah, yep. But it turned to a tailwind, Eric.
It did.
It didn't push from the side. It pushed from the back. Note the windsock. Mike Schloesser
9.
has
We got-
shot a 9.
We got a pair of 9s.
Both of them have a 9. Both of them are very close to the same distance from the center. If I'm pulling out a caliper, I'm going to tell you that Matthias Fullerton just shot about 2 millimeters, 1.5 to 2 millimeters closer to center. But yes, I think I'm correct. I think Matthias Fullerton just took it by 1.5 millimeters.
Wow. Who would have guessed that it would come to the pair of 9s?
But I'm not down there with a caliper. The judge is. So let's see what happens. There are times when we've seen it this close, they've actually had them do it again. Matias is getting the high sign. But this is so close. Wait for the judge's call here. You'll see the fellow down there in the orange shirt raise his arm to the winner. That judge is definitely making sure, as they should. Here comes the call. And it is Matthias
is
Fullerton
Matthias.
by
Congratulations.
You have our gold
about a 1
medalist,
millimeter victory.
Matthias Fullerton. Congratulations.
Matthias
nice.
Fullerton. Hey, it came down to a shoot-off.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect them to both shoot 9s. We
don't
got
think-
that measurement, though. It was about 1.5 millimeters, and in just a few moments, we are going to be talking to Matthias
Getting closer than
Fullerton.
that.